I had a patient. She was scheduled for knee surgery, nothing gynecologic. The night before I called her and she asked me a question that I've been asked more times than you'd think. Doctor, what happens if I get my period during surgery? She was embarrassed to even ask. And honestly, most doctors would just say, don't worry about it. But here's the thing, about 30% of women experience changes to their periods after anesthesia and surgery. And almost nobody explains why. So let me tell you what actually happens to your hormones when you go under, and what you can actually do about it, which most doctors don't even know about. So stay with me here. So here's the crazy part. Your surgery doesn't have to be anywhere near your reproductive areas for it to mess with your hormones. The stress of surgery causes a specific type of estrogen to flood your body during surgery. It's called estrone. And estrone isn't the good type of estrogen, it's the pro-inflammatory type of estrogen. Researchers have found that estrone peaks on day 2 after surgery. If you've ever had bad PMS before, you know what that rising estrogen can feel like. The mood swings, the bloating, that inflammation feeling. Women with bad PMS tend to have different sensitivities to these fluctuations of estrogen throughout their cycle. And surgery and anesthesia can do something very similar outside of your normal cycle. It's a massive and artificial estrogen spike because of that surgical stress and trauma. So if you've ever felt terrible after surgery, moody, inflamed, bloated, that weight gain, and your doctor told you it was just normal recovery, this may have actually been happening to your body. And it gets worse because there's a vicious hormone cycle that happens to your body after surgery, and most doctors never tell patients this. After surgery, most patients get constipated. It's from the trauma of surgery itself on that table there, it's from the anesthesia, and it's from those painkillers after surgery. You already knew that, but here's what you didn't know. Your body is supposed to eliminate its estrogen through your bowels. You literally poop it out. But when you're constipated, that estrogen gets reabsorbed through your bowels because you're not pooping it out fast enough. So surgery spikes your estrogen and blocks the exit route. That reabsorbed estrogen fuels more inflammation, which makes recovery harder, keeps you more constipated, and that cycle continues. This is why some women had their periods thrown off for weeks or even months after surgery. It's not random, it's like a chain reaction that starts there on the operating room table. So what about my knee surgery patient? She ended up having her period 2 weeks early after her surgery. She called her OB, her surgeon, and no one could explain it to her. But now you know exactly why that happened. Now pile painkillers on top of all this. Opioids don't just cause constipation, they suppress many of your hormones. The effect is so strong that nearly 80% of women on chronic opioids experience hormonal fluctuations and irregular cycles. On top of that, the stress of surgery spikes your cortisol hormone, your fight-flight hormone, which further suppresses your fertility hormones. It can suppress luteinizing hormone by 35%. That's the hormone your body needs to ovulate. And this makes sense because if your fight-flight mode is activated, your body and brain know it's not baby-making time. So if you're trying to conceive and you had surgery or you have surgery coming up, you need to know this about your fertility. It's usually temporary, but it can take up to 6 months for things to normalize in some cases. We'll talk about testosterone and men in another video, but they're not clear either. Hey, if you're learning something new, be sure to visit my San Francisco clinic's website at www.claris-health.com to learn more about your hormones and how to advocate about your hormonal health with your doctor. And if you're learning something new, hit that like button and share what you're learning with loved ones. So here's what you need to do before surgery. And most doctors won't tell you this because they don't even know about these hormone and estrogen connections with surgery. First, if you're about to start your period or you're already on it, please don't use tampons before you go to sleep on that table. If tampons stay in your body longer than they're supposed to because you're under anesthesia or you're recovering from surgery, they can cause a serious infection called toxic shock syndrome. Tell your doctors and nurses and they'll just place a pad for you on that table. It is not a big deal, much less invasive than an infection. But surgery itself usually delays periods. It doesn't cause them instantaneously during surgery. So the risk of having a period out of the blue is pretty low. It's those estrogen imbalances after surgery that you need to be working to normalize and correct. And here's how you do it. Number one is to ask about opioid alternatives before surgery, because opioids are a big driver of that hormone disruption. Ask your anesthesiologist about nerve blocks, acetaminophen, NSAIDs, gabapentin, lidocaine, or even ketamine infusions. The less opioids you need, the less your hormones will crash. Number two is to break the constipation cycle as early as possible. This is the single most important thing you can do for your hormone balance, and no one talks about it. You need to eat food as soon as you're allowed to, and even start chewing gum as soon as you can to get those gastric juices flowing. And drink tea or coffee, because coffee in many folks helps stimulate those bowels to get a movement coming. The faster you poop, the faster your body clears the estrogen out of your body to minimize the reabsorption. Number three is to start walking as soon as you're able to. Work with PT, talk to your surgeon. Walking after surgery stimulates your bowels and minimizes muscle loss after surgery. It's probably the best single thing you can do for your recovery, hands down. Early mobility, less hormone disruption. And number four is to begin correcting your sleep as soon as possible. Anesthesia disrupts your melatonin and circadian rhythm, and disrupted sleep messes with your cortisol, which messes with estrogen and your cycle. Ask your doctor if it's safe for you to use melatonin after surgery. It's often safe and can help reset your clock after the meds. My knee surgery patient eventually normalized. Her period began coming back on schedule about 2 months after surgery. But she told me, "I wish someone told me this was going to happen. I thought something was seriously wrong with me." And that's the problem. About 30% of women go through this, and almost none of them get an explanation. Now you have one, and more importantly, you know what to do about it. So if you want to learn more about your hormone health, visit my San Francisco clinic's website at www.claris-health.com. And if you've experienced hormone changes after surgery, let me know in the comments below. Because the more we talk about this, the less women will get gaslit over their bodies. Until then, remember that you have more power over your health than you've probably ever been told. Now, I mentioned that surgery can do bizarre things to testosterone as well in both men and women. Check out this video if you want to learn more about the weird things that can happen to patients as they're waking up. And let me know if you want to learn more about why some men can grow bigger breasts after surgery. It also has to do with testosterone.